Today at Absolute Living 365, I am getting to know the man behind the legend, and oh, what a legend it is. American race car driver Willy T. whose career began at the British Formula Ford Festival in 1977. He is the first Black man to test drive a Formula One car and to qualify for the Indy 500. He is a man well known for his outspoken ways and his proven marketing of his brand. Thank you for being with me today. As an individual who has achieved success in their career and has been an inspiration to individuals and entrepreneurs alike, what were the three most influential people to you in your career?
Well, I like I said earlier, I've been very blessed, and I thank the Creator every day for the
Yes.
blessings.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, it would have been my grandfather first,
Right.
no question.
Right.
He was my hero. I would
Mm-hmm.
say Muhammad Ali. Um, I would say probably Paul Newman.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Three very important people to your career as well.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and each had a different role that they played,
Mm-hmm.
but all
Right.
three were extremely important.
Right. So, what was the biggest challenge you've had in your career?
The biggest challenge by far has been the support of corporate America. Corporate America, despite me being a winning race driver, corporate America gave me no support. Now,
Right.
I raced for some teams that had strong backing,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just a driver. When it came to IndyCar at the top of the sport, I got no support from corporate America.
Right. Right. You've had to overcome various obstacles in your career. What motivated you to keep pushing forward?
None. I wasn't going to quit. I didn't know how to quit.
Right.
Um, it was so strong. Number one, I knew I was a winning race driver, so
Right.
there was no mystery as to whether I could um, win, and that's all I cared about. If I was an average driver and I just was not capable of winning, I don't think I would have any interest. I
Right.
only did it for one thing,
Right.
that was winning, and I knew I could win, and that's what kept, despite all the obstacles, that's what kept driving me.
Right. Right. Did you have a certain goal when you began driving? And did that goal like motivate you throughout your career? Did it pull you forward?
Well, apart from outright winning, the goal was to be in Formula One. It
Okay.
was, racing is like other sports. You've got the ladder system where you go
Mhm.
through high school and college and then into the pros if you're good enough.
Right.
Well, racing is a little bit different. You've got to have a very wealthy family or someone very wealthy supporting you to get up that ladder.
Right. Right.
It's not like other organized sports. So I had the goals
Hmm.
and I kept my focus on that, on each goal. Whether I was
Right.
in Europe
Right.
winning, here in the United States, I was winning in Trans Am, I was winning in IMSA. My next goal was to try to win in Formula One. Well, I didn't get that opportunity.
Hmm.
So I want, Formula One is worldwide and primarily based in Europe.
Right.
IndyCar, I is an American-based championship series,
Right.
and I wanted to win the Indy 500, that I did
Sure.
not have the support.
Sure. Sure. And what would you say is your formula for success that you've employed?
Not apart from having the talent to do it,
Hmm.
just bullheaded, stubborn, uh, and never quit attitude.
Okay. Right. Right. And
Never quit. You got to be absolutely psychotic with your desire to achieve what you want, and I had that.
right, that relentless drive, I think,
All
is
right.
what a lot of entrepreneurs need to have. Um, as you continued in your career, what inspired you to keep advancing in racing?
Knowing that I could win.
Okay.
If
All right.
you, no matter who you are, what business or sport or genre,
Mm-hmm.
um, you've got to know in your mind, you have to
Right.
have a pure 100% belief that you can win or be successful or complete your goal.
Right. Right.
You've got to know that.
Absolutely.
And there cannot be any wavering.
Right, right. And I think that's definitely a great entrepreneurial trait that should be cultivated in everyone. Also, I wanted to ask you about what qualities do you think you instilled in your son, who is a championship shooter, um, that has helped his growth and success?
I really didn't have to push him.
Hmm.
Uh, he he was around me, and he was around um, people that have been successful, like
Right.
Al Unser Jr., who's one of my best friends and my business partner, who we talk all the time. Al Unser Jr. was out practicing with with my son just a week ago in Florida. He was pushing the
Nice.
buttons for him. Now here's a two-time Indy 500 winner,
Right.
legend, world legend, out pushing buttons for Theo, giving him a motivation. Same with
Right.
Bobby Unser, Uncle Bobby. He's 86 years old. When he
Right.
calls, he wants to talk to Theo just to educate him on
Right.
determination and the ingredients for success. Everybody
Sure.
needs that type of um, influence, and that
Right.
I wouldn't even call it mentoring. They just need to be in that environment. When you're
Right.
around that environment with people that have the same that have been there, that
Hmm.
have succeeded,
Right.
it's the best education you can get, because they're going to tell you how they did it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that you too are a shooter, but you've always been into fitness. And what would you say your fitness routine, how did that affect your career?
Well, fitness is really important, especially now with driving racing cars, because they've gotten faster, more technical
Hmm.
to drive, and more physical to drive. When I was
Right.
racing, they were physical. And, I trained, Muhammad Ali influenced me to train in the boxing gym for speed and reflex and stamina. And boxing is a very tough sport. It
Right.
is, it is extremely tough. So, um,
Well, you were in a time you were a very fit racer in a time when that was not necessarily pushed for race car
yeah,
drivers
yeah,
to
most of the
maintain
drivers,
fitness.
yeah, and most of the drivers in those days, they didn't focus on fitness the way
Right.
they do now. Now the drivers now, they're doing, spaceship, I mean, astronaut style training. I
Right.
mean, it's
Right.
really demand. I mean, fitness is in your contract now.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
all the drivers' contracts. They have to train physically. Not just, the team wants them to perform. They want to be successful on the racetrack. In those days when I was racing, my physical fitness helped me in the latter half of the race. First half of the race, you're pretty, everyone's strong.
Right.
On the last half, you can, you can feel if you're not in shape, you start to tire. When you tire, your depth perception changes, your reflex speed changes, and you start making mistakes. And
Right.
the last half of every race is where I was my best.
So what was one of the most important lessons you've learned in your life
Well, if
throughout
there's any lesson I
your
learned,
career?
it's just, you know, and that's from being around and being influenced to be
Okay.
to be absolute rigid, not nasty, but just very determined
Hmm.
and not let anything or anyone uh, deter you.
Right.
Nothing,
Right.
nothing. You got, a lot of people, I've been called arrogant. I've been called cocky,
Right.
uh, an asshole. Well, that's the nicest thing I've been called in years. So
Right.
uh, that I'll take that. But no one will ever say he wasn't successful.
Right, right. And that brings me to the fact that in watching Uppity, your movie, you reference having a hook. And this is actually an amazing marketing move. And how did you come about deciding you needed to have a hook?
I didn't. I don't know. I don't know if that if that was in my mind to have a hook
Hmm.
or I what
Well, I think that was like when you got on top of the car and you did the ollie shuffle, and it really connected you with the audience.
well I like to entertain and
Right,
for no matter what. I mean I a lot of people take they just take and they
right,
expect fans to keep spending money and delivering and giving. You got to put back. It's like
right,
a farmer. A farmer takes out of the soil, but he also puts back into the soil, right?
right.
You got to give back. I did. I liked the audience
Hmm.
and the fans and the people that supported me.
Yes,
I mean, I was going to entertain them on the racetrack, but I was going to give them a little icing on the cake.
right.
So just to show my appreciation for
Hmm.
them being there.
Right,
And when I
right,
started doing the alley shuffle up on top of the race car after the race, a lot of my competitors didn't like it, or they
right,
didn't have that kind of creativity. So
right.
um, you, it was fun for me and fun for people who were there, whether they like me or not. You're going to
Well,
get a show.
it really connected you with them. And I think that is one of the greatest aspects of you as a race car driver, as Willy T. Ribs, is your connection with the American people and your story, because you have a phenomenal story. You've gone and built a career, and you've had setbacks, but you've managed to really push forward through them.
I wasn't going to let anything stop me.
No, and it
The only
and
thing that was going to stop me was death.
right,
That's when it's over. That's that's the final chapter. Death,
right,
right?
right, right.
And
Absolutely.
racing is a very dangerous sport.
It is dangerous. And I know you've had to step away at least one time where you were facing a very dangerous situation. And, that really, I think, speaks to a lot of people.
Well, I mean, driving a racing car and competing in auto racing is a calculated risk.
Right.
Okay. It's you've got to know what you've got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had a saying in the sport. I'm not going to let anybody kill me. If I'm going to get killed, I'll kill myself.
Right. Right.
So I'm not going to put my life in someone else's hands.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Right. So, and I think the industry didn't think I had that much intelligence, but I knew the sport better than most of them.
Right.
I knew that.
Right.
I knew where the dangers were and where they weren't.
Right. And I think that's what created the man, the myth, and the legend of Willy T. Ribs.
Well, we're here to talk about it, and that's the bottom line. It's like the Titanic.
Right.
The Titanic left Southampton and got nearly halfway across, and arrogance from the captain, Captain Smith, had him drive into that iceberg.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
Right.
I got across the Atlantic, right?
Right.
I knew I had to pay attention and get around those icebergs.
Right.
And I did.
Right. And that really contributed a lot to your success. If you could give other entrepreneurs one thing to take away that could help them build on their success, what would that be?
Absolute. For one, you study, when you write your playbook, because every one of us in life, no matter what you do, you've got a playbook.
Right.
No matter what career. When you write your playbook, you make sure that you've got plan A, plan B, plan C, all planned out.
Right, right. It's a lot about setting goals, isn't it?
Well, of course. Your goal might not go according to plan every step. I mean, you got to do like Barry Sanders. You got to do some zigzagging.
Right.
But the bottom line is you get to the touchdown.
Right, right. Because you'll always end up in a different place than where you started.
Yep.
So that's great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Well,
and I really appreciate you taking out the time to talk to me from your day again.
Look, some things just never end.
Right.
So, and we'll do it again.
Yes, definitely. And
we'll do it again.
And thank you to Fred Caserta for helping out and ironing out these technical wrinkles and bringing us together.
Hey, I come out of the technical business.
Yeah.
And each time you drive out onto the racetrack, not every time is going to be a trouble-free run. You're going to have technical difficulties.
So true. So true.
So just go with the wave.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. We'll talk again.
All right. Thanks for watching our interview with legendary race car driver Willy T. Ribs.